Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Gamers Podcast. So today we're going to be doing a review of some sorts on Hogwarts Legacy. It just released February 10th, so this past Friday. So to get it started, I don't plan on buying the game. I don't plan on playing it of any sorts. I've watched gameplays and let's plays and all that stuff, but it's just not my cup of tea as a game. I'm not really into Harry Potter like that and all the games and stuff. But I figured I'd talk about it because it is a trending game, and I think from what I've seen, it's a really good game, and I would get it, if if it was my kind of game. But Hogwarts Legacy is just not my kind of game. But I know a lot of people who really love it, and I'm going to be reading some reviews and actually giving my overall opinion on it. Just from what I've seen from the gameplay, you know, I think it's a great game just from a watcher's perspective. To watch it and watch let's plays of it and stuff, and it's a really good game. But I figured I'd talk about it. It's another game that just dropped and it's becoming pretty popular. So I'm gonna be talking a little bit about the game. So this is from IGN.com. So pretty good gaming website. Everybody knows about IGN. So right in line with most Harry Potter tales before it, Legacy's plot has more holes than fishnet stocking and sorta just expects you to accept that its magical world makes no sense. This mystical third-person action adventure RPG begins with you transferring to Hogwarts as a fifth-year witch or wizard for unexplained reasons, to do everything from attending classes to fighting against giant spiders with magical stick to flying around on a hippogriff. The fantastic character creator has plenty of options for you to craft your ideal witch or wizard, apart from a fairly limited voice selection. And as soon as you do, they'll immediately become entangled in a conflict between the wizarding world and an evil goblin. On top of that, because being in secret society of wizards is apparently not exciting, though, um, you soon discover that you've got some freaky supercharged magical abilities that allow you to do an extra cool stuff that isn't really explained. If you're like me, you'll roll your eyes during moments when you're introduced to 100 years worth of dead characters lecturing you from paintings about the importance of some stuff that happened a long time ago and how you have to save the world or whatever. But once that's over with, Legacy mostly redeems itself with this fantastic cast of non-painting characters that'll help boil things down into a not too convoluted good guys versus bad guys conflict that ends up being an enjoyable tale, even if it's not particularly profound or original. So it's again, the beginning is a little bit rough from what I've seen. The beginning, it's not. It's a little bit rough, but as they just mentioned in that article, it picks up afterwards. So, and I'm all with good endings because or good beginnings for games. It sets a good boundaries for a beginning of a game because then it draws you in and you want to play it and stuff like that. That immersion can occasionally be broken by Legacy's dicey performance, though which it suffered just about every issue that makes IGN's performance review team cry during my time playing on PlayStation 5. Those greatest hits include frame rate inconsistency, weird issues where the lighting switches from too dark to too bright, aggressive pop-in while moving around the map quickly, and more. There's even this weird thing where every door in Hogwarts has a brief loading screen. It's understandable since there's so much packed into the beast of an adventure, but the PS5's promises of the death of the loading screens haven't been quite lived up to here, as it's clearly struggling to keep up with the spellcraft and whimsy of the wizarding world. Beyond the performance issues, Legacy is also fairly glitchy adventure in general. You'll probably fall through the map a time or two, or see a character or object get caught in the environment, or maybe even have the person you're talking to just up and walk away from you in the middle of a conversation, leaving you to speak with an empty spot they were standing in front for about 2 minutes. I didn't encounter anything game-breaking or so common that you'll likely want to curse its name, but but these things like this do happen enough to be an irritation. Combat is fantastic, challenging, and utterly captivating. As someone who finds the wand whipping combat in the movies fairly dull, I was very concerned about Hogwarts Legacy's ability to keep my attention after singing spells for dozens of hours. But I can admit, when I'm wrong, the combat is fantastic, challenging, and utterly captivating. There's a lot more to it than shooting balls of light out of a stick. Instead of the trick is in dodging and countering many enemy attacks while pulling off creative combos. For example, you could pull enemies towards you with an Accio, light them on fire with close range incendio, then blow them into a way with an explosive Bombarda spell. Chaining together abilities to make your opponents look like complete fools never stops being amusing, especially as you unlock talent tree perks that enhance your skills with modifiers that make your elemental spells fork to nearby enemies or transform AoE attacks. So The combat's pretty good, and that's something I'm also kind of is what I like to capitalize off of on games. Is the combat good? At least in like action adventure games, is the combat good? Um, yeah. I think it's pretty good. I've seen the combat in Legacy, and I think it's pretty good. I agree with him here. While the combat system never stops being entertaining, the creatures you fight soon run out of tricks up their sleeves. You'll see the same familiar faces a lot, as you spend an enormous amount of your time fighting dark wizards, spiders, and goblins. Every once in a while, they'll trot out some of the same repeated troll enemy or nondescript magical suit of armor as well. But the enemy's legacy throws at you wear thin pretty quick. That's a shame, since the Harry Potter universe is known for having all manner of beasts and villains face off against them. And yet, there's practically no variety. What especially is weird is that it's not like there aren't other enemy types that can be found in Legacy. You'll find giant evil frogs and zombies roaming about. To name a few, it's just that they're scarcely used in any of the main dungeons or levels. Instead, they send about 500 spiders at you in a row, which is a baffling decision. Oh, and also, I just want to kind of off topic here. Sorry if I sound a little bit sniffly. My nose is a bit stuffed up, so if you hear me sniffling, I apologize for that. But, it seems a little bit of a problem with the repeated enemies. Because you can only have so many spells equipped at one time, the one part of the combat that's a bit of a drag is a somewhat clunky process for switching between, which takes some serious getting used to. You learn quite a number of spells by the end of roughly the 30 plus hour campaign, and constantly after a lot which ones you've got equipped. Keeping them organized and committed to memory becomes a challenge within its own right, and not the kind I relish. I will say, though, with the wizarding buffet of endless ways to waste your time, it's pretty glaring omission that Quidditch is nowhere to be found. The lore reason for lack of icon broom-based sport that it's been banned for 1 year thanks to some pure-blood wimp who got injured last year, but it feels like an effort to paper over the absence of a major aspect of Harry Potter's time at Hogwarts, but the developers must have just not had time to make it. And that's pretty important. I think Quidditch, and I think a cool thing in the game would be if they had Quidditch like online. You get to play Quidditch with other people. I think that would be a pretty cool thing if they included that, but I guess they didn't. Quidditch is apparently nowhere to be found, which is kind of disappointing. I'm a little bit of a Harry Potter fan. I mean, I don't, like I said, I don't know everything about Harry Potter, but I know a little bit about Harry Potter. And, it's kind of disappointing that they didn't have Quidditch, of course, but uh, it also improves that you're often appropriately rewarded for your efforts, which that's earning some gear to upgrade your stats, cosmetic items to improve your swagger, or best of all, new spells. The ultimate carrot in a game where you're often limited only by what magic you know how to cast. For example, one side quest gives you the Alhormora spell. I don't know how to say that. Which is its classic Metroidvania fashion, allows you to literally unlock doors and get into places previously inaccessible to you. Collecting spells goes a long way to opening up the map and giving you a better bag of tricks during combat. And I found myself positively thirsting for as many of these game-changing abilities as I could gain. So that's pretty much the article there. That was kind of all I really wanted to talk about from the article. But thank you to IGN.com. Just a quick review of one of the game players there. So, Hogwarts Legacy. From the gameplay that I've watched and the review that I just read you, it seems a little bit glitchy and buggy a little bit for the frame rate dropping and all that stuff was mentioned. You know, games are going to have glitches, but for next gen or even current gen PS5 and Xbox, it's not expected, of course. I mean, we were promised, and I don't even think it's really the PS5's fault. Because I know I've played a lot of games on PS5 and it's ran so smoothly. I think it's more the developer's fault for kind of messing up making it glitch like that. So, but it's kind of to be expected. No game is going to be perfect, but I think Hogwarts Legacy, at least from me watching it, I don't plan on playing it like I said, but for me watching it, I think it's a good game. I mean, it's a good game, just came out, and I think people, I know that people really love the game and really praise it. It's a very interesting kind of game. It's definitely takes on the new, kicks off kind of the new Harry Potter legacy kind of thing for Harry Potter games. So it's a good game. So I'm gonna give it that. Again, I can't really speak from a gameplay perspective, but from what I've seen and watched and reviews I've read, because I've been doing my research before I made this video, it's a good game. I think it's a pretty good game. So we'll see going forward how much problems there are and how much things come out with it, or if there's any more problems with it. But for now, I'm content with saying it's a good game. Very good combat mechanics and gameplay mechanics besides the bugs that happen that I've seen. So pretty good game. So if you guys have played Hogwarts Legacy, comment down below if you guys have played it, and tell us how it was. Let's discuss in the comments. So that's pretty much it. So make sure to subscribe for more content, like the video, all that good stuff. Discord, Twitch, Instagram, links in the description. Again, sorry my nose was kind of stuffy in this video. You probably heard that throughout. So I apologize for that. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video though.